There's a question that changes everything about how you think about firearms. Walk into any gun shop and ask the owner which guns never come back for trade-in. Not which ones sell fast, which ones people buy and keep forever. The answer is always a short list. The same names keep repeating. These aren't the newest guns. They aren't the ones with aggressive marketing. They're the guns that people carry for 10 years, then look confused when you suggest they upgrade. The gun industry wants you to chase the newest thing, but serious shooters already know the answer. They're not talking about it online because they don't need to convince anyone. They're too busy actually using reliable tools. Today, we're covering 10 pistols that belong on that short list. Not because they're hyped, because they work. If you care about what actually matters instead of what gets algorithmic attention, subscribe now. Let's go. Number 10. Walther P99AS. European police have been carrying this gun for 30 years. That's not marketing. That's 3 decades of continuous duty use across multiple countries. When a design stays in service that long, you're looking at engineering that solved real problems before most people knew they existed. The anti-stress trigger is the feature that separates this gun from everything else. In high-stress situations when fine motor control disappears, this trigger design prevents accidents while ensuring the gun fires when you need it to. Every control on this gun serves a purpose. Nothing exists because it looks good. Most American shooters have never held one. European professionals stake their lives on it every day. Specs: caliber 9mm, capacity 16+1, barrel length 4 inches, weight 25 ounces, price range $550 to $700. The verdict: 30 years of service across multiple continents, proven when it actually mattered. Number 9. Springfield Armory, a 35. John Browning designed 2 pistols that changed firearms forever, the 1911 and the High Power. The High Power served in World War II on both sides simultaneously. Opposing militaries chose the same gun because they recognized quality. The SA-35 brings that legacy into 2026 without abandoning what worked. 15-round capacity, single-action trigger, classic ergonomics. But every flaw of the original gets fixed. Modern barrel, improved feed geometry, extended safety. Independent testing across 1,000 rounds showed 993 perfect cycles. The only failures came from vintage magazines. The gun itself was flawless. Specs: caliber 9mm, capacity 15+1, barrel length 4.7 inches, weight 32 ounces, price range $650 to $800. The verdict: 90 years of military service refined into something modern. A forever gun by every definition. Number 8. HKUSP Compact. 2 stoppages and 50,000 rounds. That number comes from independent testing. Not manufacturer claims, not marketing material. Actual independent endurance testing showed a failure rate that almost doesn't exist. Heckler & Koch built the USP with one philosophy: no compromises on reliability regardless of cost. The O-ring barrel creates exceptional lockup. The recoil system absorbs energy through a modified Browning action. The result is a gun that functions in conditions that destroy most pistols. Shooters who've carried USPs for 2 decades report the same thing consistently. The gun works dry, wet, dirty, frozen, hot. No complaints. Specs: caliber 9mm, capacity 15+1, barrel length 4.25 inches, weight 28 ounces, price range $950 to $1,150. The verdict: 2 stoppages and 50,000 rounds, built to military spec, engineered specifically to outlast everything else. Number 7. CZ75 SP01 Phantom. This gun has been copied more than any other pistol design in history. Dozens of manufacturers across multiple countries have created direct copies, because when engineers study what makes a gun shoot flat and smooth, they keep arriving at the same answer. CZ got it right first. The slide runs inside the frame rails instead of wrapping around them. That decision changes everything. The lockup is tighter, the bore axis is lower. Muzzle flip becomes almost irrelevant. The all-steel frame absorbs recoil instead of transmitting it to your hands. Competitive shooters at the highest levels figured this out decades ago. The rest of the world is still catching up. It's been adopted by militaries and police forces worldwide. Specs: caliber 9mm, capacity 16+1, barrel length 4.72 inches, weight 35 ounces, price range $580 to $750. The verdict: the most copied design in firearms history because the original was engineered perfectly. Number 6. Beretta 92 X Performance. The Beretta 92 was the official sidearm of the United States military for 32 consecutive years. Desert Storm, Iraq, Afghanistan. Every major American military deployment across 3 decades. If a fatal flaw existed, the military would have found it in the first 5 years. They kept it for 32. The open-top slide design is engineering that separates this platform from everything else. When the slide closes, the barrel is almost completely exposed. Spent casings have enormous clearance during ejection. Stovepipe malfunctions are mechanically impossible on this design. The 92 X Performance modernizes this proven platform. Better trigger, updated controls, same core reliability that was validated across 3 decades of actual combat use. Specs: caliber 9mm, capacity 15+1, barrel length 4.9 inches, weight 34.4 ounces, price range $700 to $900. The verdict: 32 years as an official military sidearm. 0 complaints. Finally updated to solve the one problem the original had. Number 5. SIG SAUER P226 Legend. In 1984, the U.S. military ran the most rigorous pistol selection process ever executed. 2 guns survived, the Beretta 92 FS and the SIG P226. Both passed every threshold, both survived torture testing. The Beretta won on price. Then the Navy SEALs evaluated both independently and purchased the P226. When the most capable special operations force in the world rejects the general military choice, that decision needs explanation. They provided it by carrying the gun for decades. The Legion variant with the short reset trigger is exceptional. The first pull is smooth and deliberate. The reset is so short and tactile it actually changes shooting speed. People carrying the same P226 for 15 years report never replacing a single internal component. Specs: caliber 9mm, capacity 15+1, barrel length 4.4 inches, weight 34 ounces, price range $1,100 to $1,400. The verdict: the gun that special operations chose when they could choose anything. Carried for decades with 0 internal replacements. Number 4. FN57. This gun exists in a completely different category than everything else. FN didn't build a better 9mm. They built a completely different platform. The 5.7 by 28mm cartridge is smaller, lighter, and penetrates barriers better than larger calibers. Recoil is minimal. Follow-up shots are fast. It's adopted by special forces units across multiple countries because it solves problems that conventional pistols don't address. 20 rounds standard capacity, mechanical reliability from absolute simplicity. It's a specialized tool that proves sometimes the right answer is a different question entirely. Specs: caliber 5.7 by 28mm, capacity 20+1, barrel length 4.75 inches, weight 20 ounces, price range $1,200 to $1,500. The verdict: the gun that proves specialized solutions aren't worse. They're just designed with purpose. Number 3. GLOCK 19. Generation 5. Millions of these are in active service right now. Police departments, military units, civilians. The GLOCK 19 is the most common defensive pistol on Earth. That's not marketing, that's reality. The Gen 5 refined every complaint people actually had. Better trigger, better ergonomics. Slightly more refined, but it still does what made Glocks impossible to kill. It runs in conditions that destroy other guns. Dirty, wet, frozen, loaded with ammunition that's not ideal. The gun still cycles. That's boring. That's the entire point. Boring is what you want from a tool that needs to work when complications arise. Specs: caliber 9mm, capacity 15+1, barrel length 4 inches, weight 28 ounces, Price range $549 to $699. The verdict: millions in service because consistency and reliability never become outdated. Number 2. Springfield Armory 1911 loaded. The 1911 should still be relevant. That bothers people who follow firearms as business instead of as practical tools. A gun designed when horses were still common shouldn't compete with modern R&D spending. Except it does. What keeps it alive isn't nostalgia, it's the trigger. A properly tuned single-action 1911 has a crispness that modern strikers chase but don't catch. Short, clean break, no creep. The shooter decides and the gun fires. That simplicity attracts serious people. The Springfield loaded model adds modern manufacturing to a proven platform. Better materials, tighter tolerances, reliability that would shock someone shooting an original 1911. 7-round is a real limitation. Maintenance is real, but ask owners if they regret the choice. Specs: caliber .45 ACP, capacity 7+1, barrel length 5 inches, weight 39 ounces, price range $1,100 to $1,400. The verdict: a century of proof that simplicity engineered well beats complexity engineered better. Number 1. Ruger GP100. Every gun on this list exists because owners never replace them. The GP100 gets here for a reason that goes further. It cannot malfunction the way semi-automatic pistols malfunction. No slide to fail, no extractor to break, no feed ramp to jam. When you press the trigger, the cylinder rotates, the hammer falls, the cartridge fires, every single time. Ruger built this in 1986 with one goal: create a revolver that handles magnum ammunition indefinitely. Triple locking cylinder, full-length ejector rod shroud, overbuilt frame. They delivered exactly that. 50,000 rounds reported by high-volume shooters. 0 mechanical failures. Specs: caliber .357 Magnum, capacity 6, barrel length 4.2 inches, weight 40 ounces, price range $849 to $1,050. The verdict: the gun that can't fail because it's too simple to fail. 50,000 rounds, 0 mechanical failures, 10 guns, not 10 trendy options. 10 guns that people own for a reason and keep forever. The Walther P99AS, because 30 years of European service proved something. The SA35, because Browning's legacy still works. The HKUSP, because 2 stoppages and 50,000 rounds speaks for itself. The CZ75, because it was copied more than any gun for a reason. The Beretta 92X, because 32 years of military use proves reliability. The SIG B226, because Navy SEALs rejected the general military choice. The FN57, because specialized solutions aren't compromises. The Glock 19, because millions in service means boring actually works. 1911, because a century of proof never stops mattering. The Ruger GP100, because sometimes the most advanced technology is something proven for 100 years. Every gun here exists because owners stopped looking for better. That's the gap between gun culture and gun reality. Which one surprised you? Which one are you buying first? Drop it in the comments, because what serious shooters actually choose matters more than what YouTube told you to want. Hit like if this challenged what you thought you knew. Subscribe, because every week we cover gear that serious people actually use. Thank you for reading.